This is a 4-pack of batteries that are compatible with the Ring systems. It also comes with a battery charger. I was sent this to review for free. If you wanted to purchase it, it would cost you about $50 for the 4-pack and the charger. They haven't paid me for my review, and my opinions remain my own. So in the box we have some cardboard that organizes these 4 batteries and this charger here. The charger has a USB-C port here. It says Type C. On the bottom it says 5 volts at 2 amps, output 5 volt at 1 amp each. So 5 volts at 2 amps is going to be 10 watts, so it's basically charging each battery at 5 watts. And then we have these guys here. Now these guys also have a micro USB port. So if you have a USB-A to micro USB cable, you can plug that directly into these guys and charge. And they have 2 LED lights to indicate their charging status. So on the back here, they say they are 6 amp hour batteries or 22.6 watt hours. And it says replacement for model number V4. So the only way to really know if these guys meet their 6 amp hour capacity claim is to take a look at the cells inside and test them. Alright, so inside, as you might expect, are 2 18650 cells. These say INR 18650-26E. They don't have a specific milliamp hour rating written on them. It could be 2.6 amp hours. I'm not sure what the 26E means. But we have here basically the 2 cells are in parallel, so it is still a 3.7 volt device, and they just have 2 wires coming out of them to the electronic circuit here. So that electronic circuit attaches to these contact points and this little micro USB charger, and it has some LED lights on it, and it looks like there's a light guide. And this light guide here, those 2 light guides went through those holes in the foam, so there's a piece of foam keeping the batteries a little farther apart at that end, and there's 2 LEDs here that flash. So we're going to take these cells out of this case and put them in our battery tester. And I'll shoot a little bit of close-up of this circuit board for you as well. A couple of the chips have numbers on them. The big chip there, I couldn't find anything written on it. I'm sure it's a generic clone board that's a battery charger board for these kind of Ring compatible batteries. Alright, so these 2 cells are in parallel, and they're held together electrically and physically with those little nickel connection bus bars there. So I've just put the bottom cell in my tester, and the top cell is along for the ride electrically. I'm only charging it at the 1 amp rate, so theoretically this will take 6 hours to fully charge the 6 amp hour battery. They're probably already a little bit charged, and so it's going to charge, and then it's going to test it, and then charge it back up and test it, and it'll tell us the total capacity of both battery cells here because they're both electrically connected. Alright, so this parallel set of 2 batteries has a capacity of 5.661 amp hours. So basically it's 2.8 amp hours per battery, or 2800 milliamp hours per 18650 cell. So that is a reasonable capacity for an 18650 cell. However, it is not the 6.4 amp hour capacity that this device is advertised under. So they are exaggerating the capacity of the cells inside. Alright, so first testing the charger. I have a USB-C power delivery cable here, and it did flash some lights, so it looks like it negotiated power delivery correctly. And when we put in a battery, it is giving me some indicator lights that says, hey, it looks like this battery is, not very charged, and I'm working on charging it. And when I plug in another battery, it does the same thing on the other side, although this battery started at 2 dots and is working on the last 2, whereas this battery, well, it started at 1 dot, but now it's up to 3 and it's working on the last one. So apparently it was figuring out how charged they were. So apparently from the factory they are a little bit charged, and this guy's charging them up. Now the LED lights on the batteries themselves hide inside the charger, so you can't see those. I don't know if those light up or not when it's charging through the contacts. Those might only work when you're charging through this port here at the bottom. Alright, so if you have the trapezoidal shaped micro USB cable, you can plug it directly into the battery. We have a green light and a red light, and I'm assuming that either the red light goes out or it turns green when it's done charging. Alright, it's a very, very tiny draw if no batteries are in here. Now with one battery in, it's drawing about 4.3 watts. And with two batteries in, it's drawing about 8.4 watts. So I'd say it's doing about 4 watts per battery. So does it fit into and operate a Ring device? So it's snapped in just fine. I have a blue light here, so it's powering up. All right. Yep, working just fine. Alright, so I like the charger. It works pretty well. It's nice just to be able to throw some batteries in, have them always charged and ready to go anytime you need to swap things out. The batteries work just fine. They run Ring devices pretty well. Their capacity is reasonable. It's 5.6 amp hours for the cells. That does not match the advertised capacity. It's lower than the advertised capacity, but it's probably pretty similar to a lot of other batteries in this same form factor. So it's a reasonable purchase for replacement batteries, but it does exaggerate its capacity claim.